Welcome to Unit 12 of Chemistry Matters. In this unit, we'll provide a quick recap of the content covered in each of our previous units, plus some bonus material related to the real-world applications of chemistry in our everyday lives. Additionally, the Chemistry Matters toolkit for each unit contains a document listing the science standards for chemistry addressed in that unit. So let's begin with a recap of Unit 1, our Introduction to the Science and Engineering Practices. We introduced the practices by asking our students to execute a performance task investigating the 2011 fish kill on the Ogeechee River in southwest Georgia. We chose this task because most chemistry students are already familiar with biology and the concept of measuring the pH level of water. By executing this performance task, our students learn to use and identify the science and engineering practices. Those include asking questions, developing and using models, planning and carrying out investigations, analyzing and interpreting data, using mathematics and computational thinking, constructing explanations, engaging in argument from evidence, and obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. In Unit 1, our students performed each of these practices, and as you saw, various practices applied to every unit throughout our series. Of course, we also learned that in science, the science and engineering practices aren't always performed in a linear fashion. For example, after you've obtained and communicated information, you probably need to ask more questions, which could take you in new directions with your investigation. Regardless, these practices serve as a solid foundation for all scientists. And with the science and engineering practices in hand, we spoke with an environmental attorney, Don Stack, who demonstrated the importance of these practices and the effect they can have on the lives of people impacted by situations like the Ogeechee River fish kill. Being a lawyer, Don is a great example of how chemistry can apply to just about any career. Unit 1 introduced us to the science and engineering practices. You'll want to keep them in mind as you watch the second video on the Unit 12 playlist, a recap of Unit 2, our Introduction to Matter. I'll see you there.